Hello dear students, greetings to all. In the last class we have seen the introduction of the Vedic civilization, the coming of Aryans. So we have seen different Vedas, the name of different Vedas like Rig Veda, Samaveda, the Yajur Veda, the Atharva Veda. And today we are going to see the Vedic Age in detail. What is meant by the Vedic Age or Brahmavarta? The period during which the Vedas and other Vedic literature were written is known as the Vedic Age. So that means the time when the Vedas like Rig Veda, Samaveda, etc. are written, and that period is known as Vedic Age. During this period, the Aryans permanently settled down in India and gave birth to the Vedic civilization. It is called Vedic civilization because our knowledge about this civilization comes mainly from the Vedas. It is divided into two periods, early Vedic period and later Vedic period. The early Vedic period also called as Rig Vedic period and later Vedic period is also called as the Epic Age. So once again I will explain the Aryans. Aryans came to India. They were nomadic people. That means they were keeping on traveling. They will travel with their cattle, sheep and all, and they find the food and they will settle down there, and when the food finish they will move to another place. So the Aryans were nomadic people who came to India from the northwest. So they came from the northwest. That means we have seen that they were staying in Central Asia, and some of them had gone to Europe and the others came to North India, and they settled down and gradually took to agriculture. So they came to India and gradually they spread around India and they settled down here. And as we have seen, the other civilizations flourished around the river basins. This Vedic civilization also, we can say that it is also flourished on the basis of rivers, and mainly from Sapta Sindhu, the seven rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, etc. And why this period is considered as a Vedic civilization? Because we get the knowledge about Aryans only from these Vedas. We had seen that we do not have much archaeological evidence, but we get information about these Aryans and the Vedic civilization from Vedas only. And that is why it is considered as Vedic civilization. And dear students, it is divided into two parts. One is early Vedic period and the other one is later Vedic period. The Rigvedic age and the Epic age. These are the two different periods of Vedic age. And in this chapter, we will be looking at the economic life, political life, social life of the people during early Vedic period and later Vedic period. And early Vedic period is between 2000 BC to 1000 BC, and the later Vedic period or the Epic age was between 1000 BC to 600 BC. That was considered as the Vedic period. What is meant by epic? Epic means the story of the character and achievements of heroes. So we have two epics, Mahabharata and Ramayana. And in the later Vedic period, we will be talking about those two epic stories. And let us begin with the first one, the early Vedic period. So the period when the Aryans first settled in India is known as the early Vedic period. As per the Hindu religious text, Manusmriti describes Brahmavarta as the region between the rivers Saraswati and Drishtavati in India. Now let us look at the social life of early Vedic period. Under this heading, we will be looking at the village, the family and status of women, division of society, food and food habits, games and amusements. Let us begin with the first one, the village. The Aryans lived in well-planned villages. So dear students, we have to keep in mind during early Vedic period the kingdoms were like tribes. So the people, the Aryans, lived in well-planned villages. A village consisted of a number of joint families and was called a gram. So it was called as a gram, and the people who lived there were like joint families. In junior classes, we have seen the differences between joint families and nuclear families. Nuclear families means there will be only father, mother, and children. But joint families means there will be grandfather, grandmother, uncle, aunt. Many families will be joining there. Most of the villages were rectangular in shape. there was usually a stockade around the village. The shape of the village was in rectangular, and usually they constructed a stockade, that means a barrier or a fence or a wall with the woods. They constructed the stockade, they made a fence around the village. There was one main entrance gate in village. It had well laid out streets. There was only one main gate, and the people lived in a well planned villages. The houses were constructed in a systematic way. These houses were made of wood, bamboo, straw, and reeds. These were in fact thatched huts, tied together by ropes, bars, and pegs. And all these points are about one village. So if there is a group of villages, and it will be called as wish. The village community was made up of families. So the basis of village community was family. The Aryans attached great importance to family as a unit in social organization. That means the Aryans had given more importance to family, and they considered it as a very important part of social organization. The king interfered very little in village life. Every village had what we today call local self-government or something similar to it. So, dear students, a village means it's called as gram. A group of villages will be called as wish. So, the basic unit of a village is a family, and the Aryans had given more importance to the family. And the main character of the village is that it may be in a rectangular shape, and it has a boundaries which was made up of wood, and there will be one main entrance also, and the houses constructed in the house were in well planned, and they lived in thatched huts. And the most important thing is that the king never interfered, or the king interfered very little in the village life. And in every village there will be one head, something like a local self-government. They also have a leadership for every village. So dear students, I wind up for today. In this today's class, we have seen about the Vedic age, and we have seen that it was the time when the Vedic literatures were written. It is called as Vedic civilization because our knowledge about this civilization come chiefly, that means mainly, from Vedas, and it is divided into two parts, early Vedic and later Vedic. And in this class we have seen the social life of early Vedic period, and we have seen only the village life of early Vedic period. So dear students, read the chapter, understand the concept, and learn it. Have a nice day. God bless you all.